My child, my beloved, the moment you opened this message, something shifted in the heavens on your behalf. An urgent alert has just been released by Archangel Michael, and your name is at the very top. Tonight, something is stirring in your home, in your atmosphere. And Michael is not whispering. He is pleading with you to listen within the next 20 seconds. What is approaching is no coincidence. It was sent by someone who never expected you to see this message in time. But heaven has a different plan. A divine command has just been issued. Open your spiritual eyes before it's too late. Something unseen has been standing at your front door. And this time, it's not just energy, it's an actual assignment targeted at your life, your peace, your purpose. But Archangel Michael has intervened. He stands at your threshold, sword drawn, ablaze with holy fire. And he declares, "Tell my beloved, do not move, do not panic, do not doubt." This is a divine military alert. Your name was just spoken in a heavenly assembly because God foresaw the approach of something that was never meant to touch you. But in the spiritual realm, there's a law. What you ignore can overtake you. That's why Michael is now shouting through this divine channel. Please, just give me 20 seconds. If you do, I will restore your life. Tonight is not ordinary, my child. This night was chosen for spiritual confrontation. While you slept, someone was setting a trap for you. But the angels of the Lord were watching. A reversal has been orchestrated, but only if you respond. That's why this warning came so suddenly. That's why it was blocked 3 times in the spirit before it reached you. Michael fought for this message to get through. He knows you're tired. He knows you've been through battle after battle. But now the battle has come to your doorstep. You must be spiritually ready. The enemy seeks to enter through a broken door, a door left unlocked in your spirit. But the moment you listen to this message, the moment you honor it, that door will close and the danger will pass, just as the angel of death passed over the marked doors in Egypt. Your home can be marked tonight if you heed this word. But if you skim past it, you may miss the divine code that was meant to protect your house. This is not a story. This is not a drama. This is spiritual intelligence from the throne of God. And Michael has only one command for you. Open it now. Hear every word. Do not rush, because the attack is real. But so is the miracle. You were chosen to receive this warning because your destiny is too great to be stolen. The moment you believe this, the angel of breakthrough will be released. But if you treat this as mere entertainment, the protection will lift and heaven will not allow you to be exposed tonight. Listen closely, my child. Someone with dark intentions just spoke your name, but they didn't know heaven was listening. They didn't know your angels were watching their every move. A plan was just uncovered in the realm of light, and it nearly succeeded. That's why this message feels urgent. That's why Michael isn't whispering. He's commanding. He says, "Child of light, rise now." This is your divine security code. You were never meant to hear this in your own strength. That's why the angels are with you now. And as you read these words, something is shifting in the spiritual realm. You may not see it, but heaven is watching your response, because this is not just a warning. It's an invitation to divine covering, an invitation to supernatural transformation, an invitation to a new level. But first, you must obey this command. Don't stop reading. Don't doubt. And whatever you do, don't scroll past this, because messages like this come once in a lifetime, and heaven will not repeat it if the soul walks away. You're still here because your spirit knows this is not random. You were marked with divine protection at birth. But lately, your shield has been under attack. Tonight is the enemy's final attempt to slip in unseen. But he will fail if you activate this word. Michael says, this is not just a message. It's a divine alarm. Let it enter your heart. Now, beloved, speak this aloud if you feel it. I will not sleep through my miracle. I will not ignore my angels. I will stay with this word no matter what. The moment you declare this, chains begin to loosen, fear begins to fade, and the power of God enters your home like a wave of fire and light. Before we go deeper, pause, breathe, and subscribe to our channel, Today Blessings, so you never miss another message from heaven. If you're seeing this, it's not by accident. This is your divine rescue plan. Click and stay connected. Your next message may save your future. Now breathe, my beloved, because what comes next goes deeper. Heaven is about to reveal the face of the one who tried to block your joy, and that name will shake you. But the freedom that follows will shake your entire house. My beloved, there is something heaven wants you to see with your spiritual eyes right now. Someone has been watching your home, not physically, but spiritually. They're not knocking on your door. They're knocking on your weakness. They don't use weapons. They use whispers, and they nearly got through. But your angels stood in their path. Your angels stood at the edge of your home and declared, "Not this time, not today, never again." But now you must listen, because this moment is a spiritual crossroads. What you do next determines what breaks through or what breaks in. Michael says, "I command you to stay, because if you stay, I will show you what was hidden in plain sight." Yes, someone you trusted allowed this attack to be planned. Not directly, but through their jealousy, their heat, their complaints about you when you weren't around. They became the door, the crack in your protection, and the enemy found it. But this is not to scare you, my beloved. This is to awaken you, because while the attack was launched, heaven initiated something greater, an angelic reversal, and your name is written on it. Tonight, Michael stands with an army at your home. They guard your roof. They cover your door. They shield your bed, your windows, your walls. But there is one room they cannot enter without your permission, the room of your thoughts. And that is where the enemy planned to enter, not with a loud noise, but with a quiet suggestion. Give up. Maybe you're not really protected. Maybe this spiritual stuff isn't real. Lies. Michael saw those whispers before they reached your mind. And this message, this is your divine firewall, your mental shield. Because when you hear a lie but don't recognize it, it slips in. But when heaven speaks truth into you before the lie arrives, you become unshakable. That's what this message is doing. It's preparing you, because within 8 hours of reading this, something will try to test your peace. Someone may even say something unpleasant, but you'll be ready. My child, my beloved, someone may enter your home or send you a message, and when they do, you'll remember these words. This is not a coincidence. It was foreseen. God never sends a warning without a purpose. And the purpose now is clear. Awaken the warrior within you. Michael is not just a comforter. He's a fighter. And tonight, he stands with his sword drawn, face to face with the very force that tried to enter your life without permission. You, my beloved, are not alone. Listen closely. The knock that approaches is not physical. It is spiritual. It will come as a thought, a fear, a sudden sense that something is about to shift. The enemy will hope that in that moment you speak doubt, but instead you will speak faith. Say it now with your breath. No weapon formed against my house shall prosper. I am covered. My family is covered. Heaven is watching over me tonight. Do you feel that? The pressure lifting from your chest, the weight falling from your back. That's not your imagination. That is the presence of your angel entering the room. He cannot come until you agreed with the word. Now he stands behind you, sword in hand. Michael declares, "This house will become a fortress. This child will not fall. This night will end in glory." And now, something rare is happening. A divine scroll is being opened in heaven. Your name is written in the next miracle to be revealed. But there is one condition. You must read this message to the end. Hidden in these next lines is a spiritual transaction, and only those who finish will receive it. That's why so many scroll past. That's why some messages never fully load. Because the enemy knows if you finish reading, your bleeding will stop and your wound will begin to heal. So I ask you, do you trust heaven enough to stay? Will you believe that this message is not entertainment, but deliverance? You already know the answer in your heart. Your spirit is awake, and your protection is growing. Tonight, my beloved, you are not just being warned. You are being marked. Marked for blessing. Marked for favor. Marked for a divine shift. The next 48 hours will not resemble the last 48 years. Stay with me, because in the next part, Archangel Michael will reveal the exact moment your name was placed in heaven's emergency scroll, and what will unfold in your home if you remain faithful. My child, my beloved, you are now entering the part of the message that few ever reach. And that's exactly why the blessing is hidden here. The enemy hoped you'd be too distracted, too tired, too discouraged to stay. But you stayed, and that tells heaven one thing. You are ready. Listen carefully. The scroll in heaven with your name was not opened by chance. It was sealed until this very night, and only one voice was permitted to break it open, Michael's. He stepped forward before the throne and said, "This child has passed the test. This child remained. Now this child must be fully protected." And the Lord gave his word. If they do not ignore this message, I will rewrite what was planned for their home. Yes, something had been planned. Events, disruptions, sudden shifts meant to disturb your peace. It was already written by the enemy. But heaven is now dismantling that plan. Because you're aligned with harmony, because your heart is open, because your spirit said yes. There are nights when the war grows quiet, but this is not one of them. This is a loud night in the spirit. You may even feel something moving, as if something invisible is walking the edges of your room. Do not be afraid. It is not what you think. It is heaven. Archangel Michael is moving through your home, room by room. He touches your bed and declares peace. He touches your walls and declares protection. He places angels at every window. He leaves no opening unguarded, because this time you will not lose. Not your peace, not your sleep, not your joy, not your breakthrough. Heaven has declared your home divine territory. Now here's what you must do next. Speak this aloud with faith. My home belongs to God. My walls are surrounded. My windows are sealed with light. No darkness will enter this door. Did you feel that? That shift, like a strange warmth wrapping around you like a blanket? That's confirmation. Michael heard it. Heaven recorded it. You just activated an angelic lock. Nothing not sent by heaven can now cross your threshold. But this is not the end, because what happens next will shock you. Someone you least expect will reach out to you within 48 hours. They may knock, call, message, or show up. But what matters most is not what they do, but what they carry. They are either a divine messenger or a disguised trap. That's why this message matters. It sharpens your discernment. You'll feel it instantly. The moment they speak, your spirit will know. This is my confirmation, or this is my distraction. And heaven will give you clarity, not confusion. You will no longer be led by emotion. You will be led by fire. Michael is sending the fire of clarity into your space. No more fog. No more spiritual blindness. You will see through masks. You will know when a voice is lying. You will hear the truth, even when it's wrapped in false light. This is what it means to be spiritually awakened. You won't just see angels. You'll see assignments. You'll see what's behind the words. You'll hear what's behind the compliment. You'll feel what's behind the embrace. And you will never be trapped again because you've been trained. Because now, heaven trusts you. But it came at a cost. Your tears were not wasted. Your lonely nights did not go unnoticed. Michael stood there, recording every cry. And tonight, heaven is cashing in those tears, turning pain into prophecy, silence into suddenness, grief into sacred union. My beloved, You are about to enter a stretch of days where everything will happen so quickly, it will feel like a dream. Doors will open before you ask. Answers will arrive before the question. Provision will come before the need. But it all begins here, with this message this night and your decision to stay awake while others sleep. Your home has been chosen. You have been sealed. The enemy is furious, but powerless, because your angels are not sleeping tonight. Now breathe, my beloved. The battle is already won. My child, my beloved, you are still here. My beloved child, this moment means everything in the spiritual realm. The longer you remain here, the stronger your spiritual covering becomes. With every second you read these words, your home is changing, not physically, but spiritually. The air feels different now, doesn't it? Lighter, as if a weight you didn't even know you carried has begun to melt away. This is not a coincidence. This is not imagination. This is confirmation. You just entered the part of the message where chains began to break. Michael whispered, they stayed. Now I can show them what was hidden. So I must reveal something. 3 nights ago, someone rose against you. They didn't speak your name aloud, but their heart sent energy toward you. Their envy reached your field and tried to block your next miracle. But that's when Michael drew his sword and declared, enough. Heaven does not permit darkness to touch the chosen without permission. And in your case, no permission was given. Still, you needed to be warned, because although it didn't touch you, it came close. Had this message not reached you in time, had you scrolled past it like others, the darkness might have found a crack. But now the crack is sealed. You are surrounded. Your home is marked from heaven. Right now, angels are flying above your roof, unseen by the eyes, undeniable to the spirit. They are singing songs of deliverance. You may not hear them with your ears, but your soul hears them. That's why your breath has changed. That's why your heart no longer races. The war that raged around you has just quieted. And the reason is simple. You did not ignore heaven. You received the message. You stayed. Now the presence of God rests upon you, my beloved, and there is still much to reveal. While Michael guarded you from the front, something was trailing behind you, a shadow from your past, a memory that refuses to let go, a voice that still whispers you deserve pain. But heaven rejects that lie. Michael saw that shadow and chased it down. And right now, as you breathe, that shadow is detaching from your path. You owe nothing to your past. You do not need to carry guilt for surviving. You do not need to apologize for healing. You do not need to explain why God chose you, because He did. Tonight is the proof. You were chosen for preservation, chosen for protection, chosen for peace. But now you're also chosen for something greater, something so vast it almost feels terrifying. You are chosen to carry something sacred, not just any favor, but an unusual favor, a favor that makes no sense to those around you, a favor that moves so quickly others will ask, did you cheat to get this? But you won't need to explain, because when God moves, He doesn't ask for permission. And when Michael guards, no hand can interfere. Your favor is unfolding now. Step by step, your next financial breakthrough is already in motion. Your next spiritual elevation is already rising. The person who will support your soul is already seeing your name in dreams. But you must walk with awareness, because the enemy is unsettled. He's restless. He thought you'd never reach this part of the message. He thought you'd scroll past. He thought you'd laugh and leave. But you stayed. And now heaven laughs, because the trap he set for you tonight has reversed. The enemy is now caught in the very net he designed. The curse is canceled. The energy sent against you is returning to its source sevenfold. Your home remains covered, still protected, still sealed by angelic presence. You may even feel warmth in your chest right now. That's not random. That's Michael confirming these words. He's touching your heart so you'll know this is real. And you're not alone, not in this room, not in this hour, not in this war. You've been commissioned to win, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what is about to be released in your home within the next 24 hours. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and most of all, stay open. Because the moment you finish reading this message, you will feel a deep release. You'll know the night is no longer dark. You'll feel the shift in your room. You'll realize the angels are still standing guard. And you'll understand that the house you live in has become holy ground. My child, my beloved, you've reached the part few ever touch. Here, the scroll becomes personal. Here, Archangel Michael speaks to you directly, not just as a messenger, but as a guardian. So quiet your thoughts. Listen with your spirit, because what comes next will change something deep within you. Michael says, "My beloved, I've been with you since birth. You may not have seen me, but I stood in the shadows behind every danger. I was there when you nearly gave up and no one knew. I stood between you and every accident that tried to end your life prematurely. I whispered while you slept. I fought demons you didn't even know existed. But tonight I speak aloud. This is your final warning before a new beginning. There is something hiding in your home, not under the bed, not behind the curtains, but in the air, in the energy. It's an old fear, spiritual dust that's followed you from place to place. It's grief, betrayal, and words spoken by those who never knew your destiny. And now it must be removed. Time is up. Heaven is ready to cleanse the space you live in. But there is a secret instruction, so simple, most ignore it. If you follow it tonight, your entire spiritual atmosphere will be restored. Michael says, no candles, no incense. Just speak. Yes, that's all. Just speak. Stand in the center of your room or wherever you are right now. Look toward heaven and say these words. I declare this house holy ground. All darkness must leave. I welcome only light, only love, only heaven. Archangel Michael, stand at my door. God, fill every room with your breath. This house is sealed with divine fire. So let it be. That's it. But this moment of obedience unlocks something massive, because this is not a ritual. It's an agreement. And when your voice agrees with heaven, the earth must obey. Your surroundings will shift. Even your sleep will change tonight. You won't toss and turn like before. You won't feel watched in your own home. You won't hear strange sounds and wonder if it's the wind. Because now it must go. Time is up. My beloved child, heaven is ready to cleanse the space you live in. But there is a secret instruction, so simple, most overlook it. If you follow it tonight, your entire spiritual atmosphere will be reset. Michael speaks without candles, without incense. Do not light anything. Just speak. Yes, that's all. Just speak. Stand in the center of your room, or wherever you are right now. Look toward heaven and declare, I consecrate this house as holy ground. All darkness must leave. I welcome only light, only love, only heaven. Archangel Michael, stand at my door. God, fill every room with your breath. This house is sealed with divine fire. So let it be. That's it. But this moment of obedience unlocks something extraordinary. Because this is not a ritual, it's an agreement. And when your voice aligns with heaven, the earth must respond. Your environment will shift. Even your sleep will change tonight. You won't toss and turn like before. You won't feel watched in your own home. You won't hear strange sounds and wonder if it's the wind. Something will leave. Something divine will enter. God is sending peace, true peace. Not the kind that comes from money. Not the kind that depends on people. But the kind that fills the room with silence and restores your heart with safety. Yes, safety. You haven't truly felt safe in years. But now, it returns because Michael heard your silence, and heaven is responding with presence. And here's what may surprise you. Within the next 24 hours, you'll notice something strange. Someone in your life may suddenly pull away. They may distance themselves. They may disappear. They may even argue without reason. But don't chase them. Don't ask why. This cleansing isn't just for your home, it's for your circle. Spiritual cleansing requires spiritual pruning. Some people cannot survive the purified atmosphere heaven is creating around you. They were attached to the energy you just released. Let them go. Do not fear, because what leaves after this prayer was never meant to stay. And what enters after this moment has always been part of your divine promise. Now breathe, my child. Let this next part settle into your bones. You are finally safe. You are finally seen. And heaven is finally announcing your miracle aloud. The night once marked for tragedy is now marked for testimony. The dark cloud that hovered over you is being lifted by angelic wings. The anxious energy in your home is being consumed by holy fire. You are now a carrier of light. And this house is no longer just a refuge. It is a throne room, a place where angels walk freely, a place where miracles happen without delay, a place where you will no longer cry yourself to sleep in silence. Joy, like oil, is now flowing into every corner of your space. And oil never runs dry when heaven pours it. You are protected. More than that, you are chosen. You belong to God, and everything you have is now in His hands. Michael stands at your front door. He turns to the other angels and says, "This house is now unreachable by any shadow. Mark it, guard it, surround it with fire until dawn. Now rest, my child, but don't disconnect just yet, because in the next part, heaven will reveal the exact time of your shift and the number you should expect in your dreams tonight. Yes, you will be given a sign, and when you see it, you'll know your miracle is arriving on schedule. Tonight wasn't just about protection, it was about reconstruction. What was broken in your spirit is returning to divine balance. You may not feel the full change immediately, but you'll begin to notice signs, starting with time. Yes, heaven will confirm your alignment through a number. Michael will assign a number to your dream tonight, or to your clock, or to a notification on your phone. And when you see it, pause and pray, because that number is your divine alert. It may be 1144, or 333, or 717. Each number carries a unique signal, and when it appears, it means your miracle is entering your timeline. Not delayed, not denied, but fulfilled. Heaven uses time not to punish, but to whisper. And tonight, the clock will speak. Even your dreams may shift. You may feel yourself flying, or see an open door, or find yourself back in your childhood home. This is not a memory. It's a spiritual language. God is showing you where you were broken, so He can restore it. Heaven leads you backward in dreams, so it can lead you forward in strength. And Michael will be there in your dream. Yes, he moves through dreams. He appears as protection, as fire, as the one who blocks the uninvited. So do not fear your dreams. They are disguised instructions. And if you write them down when you wake, you will unlock secrets faster than those around you. Because God does not play with your destiny. You've waited too long. You cried too hard. You've lost too many nights. And now heaven says, enough. It's time to rebuild, not from scratch, but by grace. You won't have to fight to find love again. Love will find you. You won't have to chase money like before. It will come seeking your light, because angels have already gone ahead of you. They're preparing meetings, conversations, and divine appointments. To others, it will look like coincidence, but you will know it was Michael's hand arranging it all. You'll say, I just happened to be there at the right time. I didn't even plan to go, but I did. I never thought they'd call me back after all this time. That's not luck. That's divine movement. And it begins tonight, because heaven will no longer tolerate delay. But you must remember one thing. Do not reopen the door to doubt. Do not let fear be your guest. Do not let bitterness take a seat on your couch. Your home is now a temple, and temples do not tolerate shadows. Temples carry glory, and that is what you now are, a walking, breathing temple of glory. That's why everything feels different. That's why the atmosphere has shifted. That's why you feel calmer, even as you read these words. Because the Holy Spirit is not just near, He is resting in the room with you. And He brings answers. He brings restoration. He brings strength. Now you will speak differently. You will move differently. You will stop over-explaining. You will stop dimming your light. You will stop shrinking when others feel threatened by your anointing. Because now you are marked. Heaven sees you, and the enemy does too. But now the enemy is afraid because you've been activated. You didn't skip this. You didn't scroll past. You didn't laugh or ignore. You listened, and heaven rewards attention. That's why you'll begin to see strange favors, discounts you didn't ask for, gifts you didn't earn, apologies you didn't expect, and peace wrapped in opportunities you never imagined. All because you stayed. And now Michael says, seal this moment of faith. Speak it aloud once more. I am protected. My home is guarded. I will not fear. Angels are watching over me tonight. And right now, they stand silently but firmly, waiting only for your agreement. So stay soft, stay humble, and do not give up. The best part of this message hasn't even begun.